if you're on with Steve Paul, you could say that that's a worser statistic.
That's a worser statistic, absolutely. Hey, Steve, so...
And Tom, I'm waiting for you to give us some of your cash. I know you've got a big...
I triple leveraged. I'm in the Federated Money Market Fund, triple leveraged.
You get a sense of it.
Yeah, I'm actually I got 2 big meetings with clients. The clients have been cool.
What are these guys talking about? What are they talking about?
They just don't know where to get in. I'm telling them they should average it, in my opinion, because I think it's hard to make a call here.
Steve, I'm going to leave it there. Stephen, thank you so much.
I think we'll leave it there. Marcus Conte reporting. Good morning, truth seekers, for lack of a better term. What's up, everybody? Oh boy, sorry for being a little late, man. You know, sometimes you just got to roll with it, right? I don't have any set schedule. I'm not like Joe Rogan, who I sold out to Spotify for. Spotify didn't give me no $100 million to do my shit, so I sleep a little, extra 10 minutes or whatever. Just take a little. It's not that I sleep. It just takes a little. Sometimes it takes a little while. If there's no stories piling in, sometimes it just takes a little while to figure out what is the headline. And what is the headline today? What is the headline? There's a couple of them. One is that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, appears to be lying or fudging or gaslighting the facts, saying that now, after all is said and done, COVID-19 might just be or is, in fact, aerosolized, that you can catch it from someone singing a mile away. It just gets more and more ridiculous, right? More and more ridiculous, more fear. Right? It's a guilt, shame, fear. That's how they sell you these stupid ideas, these stupid things that have no basis in fact or law. So, good morning, everybody in the chat. Vinny D. Martini on the chat. On the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat, kindly. A lot of new names. Emily. Hello, Emily. Weevil Girl. Jeremiah Shine. Terry Miller. Me So Hungry. What's up, Me So Hungry? Nat Dodson. Raymond Duncan. Jim Gerard is here. I bet I won. That's a good name. I bet I won. JB. What's up, JB? What's up, man? What's up, Bill West? Bill West is in the house. Bill West is watching. Bill West is watching. We gotta be sure of what we're saying. Bill West will tear us a new ass. So what else is going on? What else? So there's that. Then there's Joe Rogan getting screwed, big time, right? CDC is saying that you're gonna die of COVID-19. It's aerosolized now. It's a weapon, and the Spotify is squeezing Joe Rogan's testicles, squeezing them, taking them, going like this, like fucking, like see this like this, give me the fucking balls, right? Here's your money. That's what selling out is all about. Not necessarily selling out, but it's this is what happens when someone hands you $100 million. You shut the hell up, and you see him walking back. He apologized for something so trivial, so ridiculous. He was talking about I forgot what he was talking about, but when we get to the story, I'll tell you about it. So Joe Rogan, what is the moral of that story? I don't know. Censorship. If we pay you, you say what we want you to say. Right? Joe Rogan now stands in the light where will a man of integrity, a man who has pioneerized the internet with his outspokenness and his talk show, kind of like what we're doing now, but on a small scale. Is it inevitable that the man will sell out? Is it inevitable that the human can't resist $100 million? Is his word more valuable than his $100 million? That's the shit right there, right? Can money silence you? They could shut you down, they can censor you, but can they pay you to shut the fuck up? Or worse than shutting the fuck up is actually changing what you're going to say. You become part of the problem, like a Rachel Maddow or Chris Matthews or one of those guys. Those are horrible people, right? Or fucking Chris Cuomo, Anus Cooper. Those are pay-for-play hacks. James Carville is Joe Rogan. I think it's a big story because I think it stands to. We don't get much bounce in the truth community or in a. I hate that term, truth community. What the fuck is that? Truth community is infiltrated with a bunch of liars and LARPers, right? I think the people that I'll rephrase that. People who aim to tell truth are important. They're important people in society. They're important people for us to ground ourselves in, right? Like I tend to do the stories a little late, maybe after a few hours, after I get a feel for what's happening in this story. And I think most people will come to this channel because they just want to hear my opinion of it. I'm not necessarily breaking the news. They want to hear what I have to say about it. Right? I think that's what Joe Rogan. That's his value. He's certainly not breaking any news, but he's the value is in his honesty, his opinion. Right? And without that, then what is it? It's just a fucking bald guy who used to be a boxer. Right? Some bald guy having a conversation. It's not. There's no substance to it. So we'll look at that. And what else? There's one other thing. Right? Oh, I ran. And I ran so far away, like a sad. Remember that? Flock of seagulls. And I ran. I wonder if they knew. I think he was talking about running away. I ran. So anyway, so there's a story about Qassem Soleimani. Qassem Soleimani. That's the guy that we killed. Remember, Trump touted, "Oh, we got the big guy." Meanwhile, the big guy in Iran. Meanwhile, it turned out to be a revered general, a respected general, like a wildly popular general. They killed for some stupid reason. Right? For I don't even remember the reason, but now there's this big controversy again that's saying that Iran is flexing their muscles and Trump is reflexing his muscles based on fake evidence from the CIA. So we'll look at a little bit about that. I'm trying to pull up my website. I don't know why it's not coming up for today. I don't know. Maybe my website got. It looks like they're doing some kind of repair when I go to my website. When I go to my website, it's not really coming up. So I guess. But anyway, at a later time, kindly go to Patreon or to my website, or even in the links down below, and click the Patreon button, become a ongoing member of this fine channel, or a one-time contribution through PayPal. So. We'll keep trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. How we doing? Website, it doesn't. It's not really coming up. Look at him. He's live. He's live like a mofo. All right, so let's start here. So this is pretty funny, right? It's just a funny article. A sidebar for a Monday. Massive fuck Cuomo and De Blasio mural painted on Brooklyn Street. So you could paint Black Lives Matter, but if you say fuck Cuomo, then they will come and erase your shit. So the writing's on the wall or road. Fed up New Yorkers painted a massive stretch of Brooklyn Blackcap with yellow message, fuck Cuomo and de Blasio, over the weekend in the vein of the mayor's Black Lives Matter art, only for the city to quickly scrub the statement. So the city got right out there and scrubbed it. Here it is, right? So you see it. They blobbed out fuck Cuomo and de Blasio in giant yellow lettering. Pretty impressive work, if you ask me. And that's what it looks like after it was covered up. So they sprayed it down with black. It's not that big. It's about the length of three buildings, maybe a half a block. It's pretty big, right? And it's in none other than Williamsburg. Williamsburg is the cool part of Brooklyn. I don't live in the cool part of Brooklyn. I live in the real part of Brooklyn where there's real people, like real New Yorkers, people that have been here their whole lives. Williamsburg is transplants. It's a bunch of young people. It's a bunch of new money. It's a bunch of hipsters, hipster assholes that, whatever. They're priced out of Manhattan, so they go to Williamsburg. There's been some good music that has come out of Williamsburg, Brooklyn, like the Strokes, that whole era. The Strokes, all the bands that were surrounding them, Moldy Peaches and such. But anyway, so there's this giant mural there between North 15th and West Wyeth and Bank Street in Williamsburg during the waning hours of an annual block party, which this year doubled as a small business owner protest. So in light of the fact, and I stand mentally corrected, in light of the fact of it being a hipster, a sanctuary for hipsters and out of towners and people who think they're cooler than thou, it actually turns out that someone said, you know what, let's support the small businesses because they're killing us. Big business in Williamsburg is bars and restaurants, and they killed it. They totally killed it with this, and continue to kill it with propaganda about aerosolized saliva for a virus that has a 0.007% death rate, far less than the flu. Right. So it's all rather crazy, right? So the not so subtle shout out to Governor Cuomo and Bill de Blasio went up around 1 a.m. Saturday on North 15th and Wyeth Avenue. Small business owner protest. One attendee told the Post, quote, "A few partygoers got the idea to paint in huge letters, yellow paint, with rollers on North 15th, fuck Cuomo and de Blasio." The attendees said Sunday, refusing to identify by name. The party continued. Everyone took photos. It was a big hit. The crowd cheered. Even cops chuckled. Let me just pop this shit out, man. I gotta pop my chat out because I can't see what anybody's saying, right? Because I'm all twisted in a knot right here. Let me just get my shit together. Yeah, baby. Yeah. What's up, man? So that's that. That's not much, right? The big story, but it is funny how quickly they got it down, right? The all caps block length message, I didn't see it, was in the style of city sanctuary projects reading Black Lives Matter. There you go. That sprung up during the summer's fierce protest. So a little bit of pushing back. Patriots, this is not the radicals doing it, because the radicals, I don't think really have an opinion of, do they have an opinion of Cuomo and de Blasio? I don't think so. I think they just go along with the flow. They hate them all. So anyway, so there you have it. So this is a big story too. This is fucked up, right? Justice Department brands New York City an anarchist jurisdiction. William Barr targets federal funds. Hey, look, New York is a big place. It can absorb the chaos. It always has. It always has had the ability to absorb craziness and change, dramatic change, drastic change. And this will be no different. I was walking around the city yesterday, and it is starting to bounce back. It is starting to show significant signs of life. The moneyed type of people are coming back. The students are back. The streets, the park, Washington Square Park. I'll put up a video later. I didn't put it up last night, but I made it. People buzzing around Washington Square Park. You're starting to see a lot of style and fashion, people coming out again. That starts to change as the weather gets really cold, but this is the time to really see it, the fall leading up to Christmas. And there is signs of people coming back, but like I said, it's a very different place. And it's hard to talk about it unless you're standing in the middle of it. So I'll show you that video later today on Washington Square Park. So New York City, let's get back to William Barr. Justice Department brands New York City an anarchist jurisdiction. All right. New York City was among 3 cities labeled anarchist jurisdictions by the Justice Department on Sunday and targeted to lose federal money for failing to control protesters and defunding cops, the Post has learned. Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington were the other 2 cities on the list, which was approved by the U.S. Attorney General William Barr. When state and local leaders impede their own law enforcement officers and agencies from doing their jobs, it endangers innocent citizens who deserve to be protected, including those who are trying to peacefully assemble and protest, Barr said in a statement set to be released Monday. So the key word right here is federal money. Federal money. Now we're talking. So you could say whatever you want, but if the feds cut your money, Cuomo and de Blasio, then everybody's fucked. What are you going to do? Double people's property taxes again? They did that. They did that here in I think in Pennsylvania. They tripled it in some places. Tripling city tax. That's fucking crazy. Or property tax, right? I'm not familiar with property tax because I don't own anything. But it was brought to my attention that those sorts of taxes are doubling. What happened, Mr. Trump? We're going to lower your taxes. Mr. Lowering his taxes over the last year, the taxes doubled and tripled. I saw a guy here in New York, right, in Brooklyn. He told me he was a cop and he owns his house. And they said they doubled his property tax. What kind of shit is that? So, in addition to that, that means if the city and state get federally defunded, even in part, how are they going to make up for that money? They're going to take it out of your pocket. They're going to take it out of the people's pockets. So it's Trump, get your head out of your ass. Your New York is now a anarchist jurisdiction. Let's take away their money. All right. Okay. That's a solution. We cannot allow federal tax dollars to be wasted when the safety of the citizenry hangs in the balance, said the AG Barr. It is my hope that the cities identified by the Department of Justice today will reverse course and become serious about performing the basic function of government and start protecting their own citizens. White House Budget Director Russ Vought is set to issue guidance to federal agencies on withdrawing funds from the city in less than 2 weeks. Ooh. That hits right at the heart of who Cuomo and de Blasio are. They're money grabbers. And if Trump is able to squeeze their balls on money, it's a political win for Trump, but it's a disaster for the people that live in the city and in the state because of as I said, taxes get jacked. They find other ways to steal the money from you. The list of cities eligible for defunding will be updated periodically, said the fund. How much money? It is not clear what funds are likely to be cut, but the amount of money siphoned from New York City could be massive, given the Big Apple gets about $7 billion in annual federal aid. Oh boy, we're going back to the old times. We're going back to shut down trains and hookers on 42nd Street and drug dealers everywhere. That's starting to happen already. You're starting to see commerce, the drug trade and even people selling food and water and beer out in the parks. They're selling things again. People are selling. They're finding ways to survive. Right? Whether it's selling weed in the park, who cares? Right? People need their weed. They need what they need, right? Or setting up a cooler. Right? And people don't want to walk out of the park if they're in the park. Some guy's got a whole cooler full of Corona beer, selling Corona beer for $3 or $5. City prices, $5. And he's making a living, and the guy gets his beer. He's happy. Him and his girl sitting in the park drinking a beer. The whole thing is all those quality of life, shit. You got to take a piss, in the and they lock the bathroom on you. You piss on the tree. You piss on the wall. Right? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Is it a good thing? Well, I guess it is. It's better than having police run everything, beating the shit out of people and arresting people for stupidity, jumping turnstiles and all. But I would like to see the city go back to a more organic 70s feel without the violence, without the looting and the stealing. The violence, mostly, robbing people. So anyway, we'll see how this works out for the dawn. For the dawn. In July, the number of shootings in New York City skyrocketed 177%. Well, you know what? There is a power vacuum, and this is what happens, and legalize all the substances, and you won't have people shooting each other. Right? You won't have that pent up energy. Is my site back? Still down. Connecting. Still down. I don't know why it's down, but we're up. We are up, and we are having a good time right now. Right? Having a good time. So that's that story. So here we go. So you're not going to believe this. So the CDC. Let's read the headline. Where's the headline? There it is. Update: CDC guidance acknowledges coronavirus can spread through the air. It's magic. It's magical virus. Now, I recall, because I had to, not because I wanted to, but I recall being in college once upon a time and studying biochemistry and microbiology. And this shit just flies in the face of all that shit. We never learned about, viruses are essentially very weak. They are impotent when they are outside of the body. When you sneeze, there's some virus that lands on something, but it doesn't have no shelf life of hours and days. It doesn't have wings where it flies up your fucking nose. It has a very low survival rate outside of the body. Now, if you sneeze in someone's mouth, or, if you, lick someone's tongue, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, right? That's different. That's a totally different thing. Or you stick your fingers in their nose, right? And then you stick your nose and your fingers in your own nose. Something grotesquely inoculating. Right? If you inoculate yourself with some other germ, but this notion that the virus, it has wings. Oh, here's one. That's what they're trying to tell you, right? It's bullshit. Right? So they're changing their tune again. An updated CDC guideline acknowledges, and that you can't say that. Oh man, this guy's saying that he knows more about virus than the CDC. Well, yeah, because I'm not in anybody's pocket, and I did my due diligence in terms of biology and chemistry and microbiology and all that stuff. And I have an educated opinion of what it is. And I've also been maskless the entire fucking time in New York City, actively engaging the community. And I have not gotten sick. I've gotten, if nothing else, healthier. I feel, I was talking to some yogi guy in the fucking park, some Hare Krishna guy. And they were handing out books. They were handing this shit out, right? I'll tell you the story. Hold on a second. They were handing these books out, right? And this book right here, right? It's fucking Hare Krishna shit, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. Yoga. The perfection of yoga. Oga, Oga, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare, Krishna, Krishna. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it is. But the form of yoga is spectacular. And it appears to work for many, 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 many people. It's this guy right here, man. Now, I don't know. I'm no Hare Krishna, but I love when I hear, You are amazing human being. You are so powerful. You are powerful. Yoga. 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 Trippy dippy, hey, trippy dippy for you. But the point is that I was trying to say is I walked up to the guy and I said, yeah. I love it. Can I take a book? And I told him, I said, I do yoga. And I said, I do, I've been involved in all kinds of meditation, Shambhala, Vipassana, Zen. I follow all that shit. I understand a little bit about Hare Krishna. I've never done the musical chant, the 4-hour chant. It's called something, Kirtan or Kirtan. I don't know what it's called. But I did look into it. But the guy said to me, and he flattered me. He said, I know you do yoga because you have an aura about you. You have your aura about you is very, very balanced. So here's the religious guy telling the fucking joker in the park that he has an aura and balance. So where did I find my balance? I find my balance in everything. I find my balance in stories. I find my balance in adversity. So here's the disbalance. This is what happens when you are paid to lie. When you are paid by a large corporation to say this, that, and the other thing so that we can make some more money, this is what you look like. And especially when your brother is the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, Mr. Chris Cuomo, interviewing a some Trump former guy, Tom Price, about transmission of COVID-19. Let's listen.
With Dr. Redfield in his recent analysis of the vaccines and the absolute science behind masks.
Well, I thought Dr. Redfield was very clear, and I commend him for what he said. We're dealing with a new infectious disease. You remember, Chris, when it came out, it was called the novel coronavirus.
Yes,
and that was because it's new. All of us in the world, literally, are immunologically naive because our bodies haven't seen this disease before. And so when you have a new infectious disease, we're watching Public Health 101 play out in real time before the American people and before citizens of the world. And when you have a new infectious disease, one of the things that you have to do initially is to mitigate the spread of the infectious disease. You need to be able to detect it. That's the testing. But the mitigation is key. And one of the major mitigation activities that you can do is to socially distance, to physically distance, and to wear a mask. This is not rocket science. This is something that public health has known for years. If you look back at the pictures from 1918,
that's exactly what they did.
They have masks on.
That's right.
So Chris Cuomo relies. He looks back on 1918, a photograph. You see, they have masks. You saw the masks? Oh, shit, they got masks on. It must mean we got to wear masks, too, right? It's just so out of context, but it makes you wonder when you watch it. You say to yourself, is there value in constantly moving the goalpost for people where what I'm trying to say, is there value in constantly lying to people to keep them on their heels? What's the value in that, right? It doesn't make sense. That what are you going to do? You've already got them 6 feet apart. You've got them wearing a mask outside in the fresh air, exercising in fucking masks. What more do you want from people? You want to, without any real evidence that a mask is going to keep you, from getting respiratory infection. In fact, it's going to add to that because you're not breathing. Your body is breaking down. But what is the value? What I'm trying to say is, what is the value in constantly fucking lying to people like this? I don't quite understand it. Maybe because it's not my makeup to lie to people and tell bullshit. Try to be honest, And honesty is a tough thing. It's hard. I mean, it's the only way to go, really. So let's read. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updated guidance on its website to say coronavirus can commonly spread, quote, through respiratory droplets or small particles such as those in aerosols, which are produced even when a person breathes. Breathing. You are breathing too hard, too much. You are selfish because you are breathing. Could you imagine that kind of conversation? Hey, this guy's breathing. This guy's breathing. He's breathing. Where does it end? Breathing. Airborne, quote, airborne viruses, including COVID-19, are among the most contagious and easily spread. A minute ago, they said it's new and they have no idea. But now it's among the most contagious and easily spread. No, it's not. It's very asymptomatic transmission is very rare. Even if it were contagious, who cares? It's not deadly. It's not deadly to most. It's only deadly to the sick people that you've made sick. Medical industrial complex you've made them sick through all of your bad medical policy and pharmaceuticals that are hurting people. You've got and the stress. Oh my God, the stress of living right up until 6 months ago was epic. People jamming on the subway, rushing around, eating shit just to get to that work. Rush. What happened? Everything, nothing really. I mean, you stop that. That in itself is very, very healing to people. You healed a lot of people. That's why the number of sick people went down. The number of sick people, it's not because it's not because they stopped touching each other. It's because you gave them a break, that they're relaxing and they're actually taking a break, right? And healing a little bit or dying. I mean, this is just a wake observation. That's all it is. It's clear. But let's listen to the propaganda. Airborne viruses, including COVID-19, are among the most contagious and easily spread. No evidence of that. Previously, the CDC page said that COVID-19 was thought to spread mainly between people in close contact, about 6 feet, and, quote, through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. The page, updated Friday, still says COVID-19 most commonly spread between people who are in close contact with one another, and now says the virus is known to spread, quote, through respiratory droplets or small particles, such as those in aerosols, produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, sings, talks, or breathes. So now what they're saying is sit in your chair and shut the fuck up. Shut up because you're talking and that could give me something. Don't sing because that could give me something too. Don't breathe. Why can't you just not breathe? Why don't you just sit there and be still? Learn how to not breathe, and we'll be all right. These particles can cause infection when inhaled into the nose, mouth, airways, and lungs, it says. This is thought to be the main way the virus spreads. It leaves out so many facts. It leaves out they're making this virus out to be a monster, like it's Godzilla virus, right? It's like, fuck you, get you, man. I'm gonna fly up your fucking nose. I'm gonna fly up your ass. I'm gonna fly in your eyeball and your mouth. Open your mouth. I want to fly in your mouth. Open up. That's what they're saying. They're saying it's like a superhero, the virus, but it's really not. It's just another little contagion in the world that you have to deal with. Right? You have to deal with it. You got to deal with it if it's even real. But it's no more deadly than the flu. Certainly, way less deadly than contracting, cancer or diabetes or heart disease or obesity or drug addiction. All those shits, killing people, fucking killing people, man. The CDC also added new measures to its information about protecting yourself and others. Previously, CDC suggested maintaining good social distance, about 6 feet, washing hands, routinely cleaning and disinfecting surfaces, and covering your mouth and nose with a mask when around others. Now it says, stay at least 6 feet away. Did I just read this? No, I didn't. It's just reiterating CNN. Now it says, stay at least 6 feet away from others whenever possible, and continues to direct people to wear a mask and routinely clean and disinfect. However, it also now says people should stay at home and isolate when sick, and use air purifiers to help reduce airborne germs and indoor spaces. I would agree with that. Telling sick people to stay at home when they're sick, yeah, that's a great idea. I like that idea. Don't go outside coughing and sneezing on everybody. Nobody wants that shit. That's just common sense. Right? So I would agree with that. Keep people that are sick. Just do basic courtesy. Just stay away from people. Right? If you got to be sick and you still want to breathe air, I do it. When I was sick, I was out. I just go out early in the morning. I go out at 6 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody outside, and I breathe out into the field so that I can get some air, even though I'm sick, especially because I'm sick. So you don't want to isolate. You don't necessarily want to isolate people. Stay at home. What does that mean? What if people live in an apartment and there's no outside? You can't go outside. Are you fucking kidding me? It's ridiculous. Masks, it notes, should not replace other preventive measures. Means nothing. The update. This is just incredible stuff. Right? The update also changed language. This is the scene in Animal Farm. You remember when the animals, they wrote the Constitution on the wall and they had the commandments or whatever. There was like 10 things that animals, the rules of Animal Farm, right? And how it's supposed to be for all the people, and they write it on the wall. And then slowly the pigs come in and they change it to something else. Erase it. Just get rid of this shit. Why equality to the people? No. We're in charge. We do what we tell you to do. You do what we tell you to do because we're in charge. I know. It's supposed to be revolution, and all people created equal. That's the gist of a new country, a new nation. We broke off from England because we were tired of their bullshit. And then we come over here, and what do we got? We got our own bullshit. We get a couple hundred years later, we have people running the country that don't reflect the initial push. Right? That's what they're doing here. They're changing. You could call it, moving the goalpost, or it's what totalitarianism is. It's changing the rules, right? Holding people down, right? Based on no science. It's updating. It updated their rules because why? Because they found out more information? No, they just there's some sort of vested interest in keeping people far apart, scared of each other, whether it's a real estate grab, whether it's to crush the businesses that are required, face-to-face requirements like retail and restaurants and gyms and all that, just blow them out. So what? So that they go out of business, and the money can move into decentralization. I don't know. New businesses, new types of gyms with bigger space in different places. I don't fucking know. But it does look like there's some sort of, why the constant lie? Why crush your own economy? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense based on what many people see as poor science, where these statements of aerosolized saliva is just preposterous. It's unfounded in science, really. All right. Show us the evidence. Show us the evidence that the coronavirus is a super virus. It's so powerful and so deadly. Give us the numbers. Show us. They can't because there are none. The update also changed language around the shifting from saying some people. This is crazy. The update also changed language surrounding asymptomatic transmission, without any. That means without any symptoms. Shifting from saying, quote, some people without symptoms may be able to spread the virus, to saying people who are infected but do not show symptoms can spread the virus to others. So it went from some people to people who are infected but do not show symptoms can spread the virus. very rarely, it's gaslighting, man. The CDC is gaslighting us. They're changing these rules, and they're going to try to make this shit permanent. They're going to make all of these distancing rules, stay 6 feet apart, and wear a mask. They're going to make this shit permanent. It's permanent stuff, right? What do you do? How do you get away from it, man? How do you get away from it? Is it? Can we get away from this? Can we run and hide somewhere? Is there somewhere in the country, somewhere in the world where we can get away from the craziness? Because the city is, I mean, I walked around, it was beautiful, and people are out and about, but they're terrified. They're all wearing masks in the park. They're outside with masks on. You approach somebody and they're just, it's just fucked up. It's just a fucked up, vibe. And people bought it hook, line, and sinker. If they didn't buy it, they wouldn't tolerate it, right? Now, does that exclude? Is it really a divisional thing where people who are awake and refuse to wear a mask or don't care not to wear a mask is that the dividing? Is that the division in our country now? Mask versus no mask? Well, in the city, it's exemplified. You could see it. It is. It clearly is, because everybody's on one side of the argument, and whether they believe it or not, I don't think most people believe it. They're just doing it because they're told to do it, and that's scary. So there you have it. And we're going to get to Joe Rogan in a second. Joe Rogan. I'm sorry. I went on and on about this. But Iran vows to hit anyone who had role in Soleimani drone strike. This is fucked up. Now, why is it fucked up? Because I'll tell you why. Let's read and I'll tell you why. Iran's top military commander is vowing to take down anyone who took part in the U.S. drone strike that killed one of their top generals, a very respected general, Qassem Soleimani. Right? The Iranian people like him. And Trump killed him, calling him a number 2 terrorist in the world. Killed him, drone strike. Blew him up, blew him to pieces in an airport. General Hussein Salami, a different guy, made the promise Saturday on his website of his Revolutionary Guard. Mr. Trump, our revenge for murderism of our great general is obvious, serious, and real. That's Solomon. The drone strike conducted in January over Iraq, it was in Iraq, struck General Qassem Soleimani. Iran retaliated just a short time later with a ballistic missile attack targeting U.S. soldiers in Iraq. But they didn't actually target the soldiers. They targeted the property. They targeted they didn't try to kill anybody. After you killed their guy, they flung a bomb at your base. And there was nobody in it because the people, they got a warning. They actually gave a warning before they attacked. They said, we're going to shoot a ballistic missile at your base. Get your people out of there. And then they shot it. And they didn't kill anybody. They just blew up property. Right? Respectable. Respectable thing, right? But here's where it's fucked up. President Trump tweeted his own threat this week after a report that Iran is plotting to assassinate Lana Marks, the U.S. ambassador to South Africa. Quote, Trump, if they hit us in any way, any form, written instructions already done, we're going to hit them 1,000 times harder. Now, read between the lines. President Trump tweeted his own threat this week after a report. Report? What report? What reports? They cite what report are we talking about? Some report that some jerk off down in the CIA in the Pentagon building drafted and say, yeah. They tried to attack Lana Marks, our ambassador. Really? Where? Where's the proof? Where's the actual hit? It's just conspiracy theory. And Trump is acting on conspiracy theory. No, this is beyond. This is beyond starting a war over an accident like the U.S. coal or in Vietnam. The idea that Vietnam shot down one of our tankers, blew up one of our tankers. Now they don't even need an actual incident. They just say a report. A report says that one of our ambassadors was in jeopardy, was facing death threats from Iran without any evidence provided to the people. Just a report. We've got a report. So Salami denies, and now Salami denied any plans to kill Marx, but gave his assurance that Iran would avenge the general's death. Let's see who's talking. Salami is talking. Do you think we hit a female ambassador in return to our martyred brother? Soleimani said, quote, "We will hit those who had direct and indirect roles. You should know that everybody who had role in the event will be hit. And this is a serious message. We do prove everything in practice." So they're still pissed off. Gist of it, the gist of it is, you killed their general. That's the equivalent of Iran killing, fucking, what's his name? Who's the Secretary of State? I forgot his name already. What's his name? The guy who lies. We lie, we cheat, we steal. I was a CIA director. We lie, we cheat. Pompeo. Pompeo. It's the same thing. You killed their number 2 fucking guy in Iran. It's the same as if Iran whacked Mike Pompeo on the tarmac. It's the same thing. You think they're not pissed? Of course they're pissed. You killed their main fucking guy. And just because you're bigger and badder and nastier and have bigger guns and way more influential in the world, that doesn't mean you could fucking shit on us, right? So they have a point there, right? Well, how would you feel? Just think about it. Even if you don't like Pompeo, or if it was somebody that maybe people did like Rudy Giuliani, right? What happens if Rudy Giuliani got whacked on a tarmac? Do you think that the American people wouldn't be pissed off, especially if it was from Iran? We'd be like blood in our eyes, right? We'd be like, get him. So why is it hard to understand that when you kill someone's leader, one of their leaders, they get pissed off and they want to kill you back? It's just common sense, right? Are we that fucking stupid? And then we got to believe the story of some lie about, well, they're threatening to attack our ambassador. You killed their general. So anyway, so that's that story. I just don't like that Trump is jumping on that bandwagon without any evidence. A report. Show us the report. Show us the report, and we'll go forward. So here's Joe Rogan. Right? What's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, Weevil Girls here? SG Commander Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Sassafras. So we're chilling like Bob Dylan today. We're just chilling. We're just here chilling on a Monday. Monday. You know that song? Na 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 na. Monday. Na 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 na. What is that song? I don't know what it is, but it's in my head. So, Joe Rogan took the money. Joe Rogan, you took the money, and now you're bitching? Now you're their bitch. You took the money because you wanted to go to Spotify. You want to go to Texas. You want to uproot yourself. You want to go to... You're Mr. Truth Teller, right? And now you hit the top of your game, and someone offers you the big money. And what'd you do, man? You took it. You took that money. You swallowed it. It feels good, that money, right? That Spotify money, $100 million. Cool, $100 million for Joe Rogan. You live in a big house now, right? But there's a caveat. But now you are our bitch. You're our bitch. You got to do what we tell you to do. You work for us. Joe Rogan, you work for us. Spotify. Creative integrity. Hey, you got to listen to this. This is the conversation in the boardroom. Yeah, you got to listen to this shit. Joe Rogan, we gave him the $100 million. Now he's saying he's got creative integrity, that he has editorial. He can say what he wants to say. That's what they're saying, right? They're laughing at you, Joe. They're laughing at you because you took the money. You took the money. So Spotify employees demanding direct editorial oversight over Joe Rogan's podcast before they're published. It's over. Well, Joe Rogan, you had a good run. You could still back out. Still love you to death. You did great work in your career, but now you're a fucking patsy. Can't believe anything you're going to say, right? We can't believe what you're going to say because it's not what you want to say. We need to know. See, you need the success of something like this endeavor that I'm doing is that you need to know that I believe what I'm saying. Right? That's important, right? Because if you don't believe that I believe what I'm saying, then it's invalid. My opinion means nothing. If all you're going to do, and then there is an argument to be made that that's not true because Trump lies all the time, right? And people still believe him, or at least they're entertained by him. But for the most part, you got to look at Joe Rogan and believe that he's guiding the conversations, his conversations with people in a truthful way, in a way that is meaningful to him to get to some sort of truth. Without that, what do you have? You just got a talking head, a guy like, I can't say that because my 100 million, I got to protect my 100 million. Right. You see how money changes everything. Money changes everything. Remember that shit? Remember that shit, Cyndi Lauper? I said money changes everything. Money changes everything. It sure does. What are we looking at here? A group of Spotify staffers are now reportedly pushing to introduce direct editing oversight over the Joe Rogan Experience before the episode goes live. That includes content flags, trigger warnings, references to fact-checked information, or simply refusing to publish an episode at all. So they have delete power. No, I know it's good. It's 2 hours, 3 hours. You guys really went at it, but we're not going to publish that because you said something that we didn't like, and something that flies against our corporate agenda. We can't say that, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Keep your eye on the 100 million. Keep your eye on the 100 million, Joe. We paid you. Shut the fuck up and do what we tell you to do. Right? We're just a bunch of idiots. We have no talent. I know, but we're in the boardroom and we're responsible. We're responsible to make sure that our donors are fucking happy, right? That the people that own this motherfucker are happy, that their business doesn't step on the business of other people that they're trying to steal money from, right? You understand how the shit works, Joe? You work for us now because we paid you, and now you got to shut the fuck up. You have to do our bidding. You have to do our bidding. If you don't believe us, look how happy you could be, just like Rachel Maddow. You can move to the Upper West Side, and you can have the limousine and the nice condo, and the limousine take you to the lesbian bar, and you have your foofy drink. And everybody says they love you. Yes, Miss Maddow. Yes, oh, beautiful. How smart you are. How wonderful you are. And they isolate you. Right? That's what's starting to happen to Joe Rogan. Right? We're seeing it right before our eyes. The demands follow a string of controversial comments by Joe Rogan. Let's see how controversial they were. Who was lured to Spotify in a massive $100 million deal. Rogan appeals to millions of listeners in his unfiltered and irreverent approach, though the style isn't sitting well with an activist group of Spotify staffers who say he needs to be reined in. It's not staffers. It's the money leaning. The staff wouldn't have that opinion if Spotify didn't agree with it. They're hired because they're fucking leftist idiots, or they're extreme idiots. That's why they were hired. They were hired because they're idiots, and they represent the corporate fucking sham. What else? So earlier this month, Digital Music News first reported that multiple podcast episodes were missing following a mitigation to Spotify's platform. So, edited, so thrown in the garbage. Missing. That included controversial interviews with the likes of Alex Jones, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Gavin McInnes. I don't like any of those people. I find humor in Alex Jones, but I don't care about any of those people. But their podcasts shouldn't come down. They should be pushed to the front. This is the ones that people want to see. That's stupid, right? Because it again, it flies in the face of the money. The money. Also missing are episodes featuring right-wing figures like Owen Benjamin, Stefan Malinois, and Charles Johnson. Again, Owen Benjamin I like. But the rest of them, they can fucking kiss my ass. But despite the glaring omissions, Spotify staffers are now stepping up their demands to control more of Rogan's content. Vice first reported that Spotify employees have conducted more than 10 meetings to discuss possible changes. Those discussions included proposals for the outright removal of additional podcast episodes. Of particular focus is an early conversation featuring author Abigail Shear, who wrote Invisible Damage, the transgender craze seducing our daughters. Oh, the leftists, you can't talk about the transgenders because they're very sensitive. They're very sensitive. You can't talk about my fucking cunt and my dick. I got two of them. I got a cunt and a dick. You can't talk about this shit. You can't talk about them. You can't talk about them because it's so fucking sensitive. You can't talk about you're talking about my sexuality. Oh my God, I can't believe it. What are you talking about? So that's one of the opinions. Shear's opinion on the matter drew howls of protest from Spotify staffers who demand it be removed, though the episode is still available on Spotify. Good. So it's a bunch of lefties getting up, bunch of lefties. Part of the rationale now, Digital Music News has learned that the protesting employee group is stepping up its demands to control Rogan's work. Part of the rationale is that Spotify already exerts control over content like playlists, even though those created outside, even those created by outside curators. Ooh, so if you put together a playlist of Joe Rogan, they'll even censor you there, right? They'll squash that. What about YouTube? I guess they're not on YouTube anymore. So why not? I see when someone makes a move like that, Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan on YouTube. I used to watch it on YouTube once in a while. I mean, I can't sit and watch 3 hours of anybody. That's like watching a movie every day. It's too long. But sometimes, like when he interviewed Jimmy Dore, I watched that in pieces. I watched it 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I can't sit there and watch 2 hours of anything, man. I don't. My brain doesn't work like that. Unless it's a really good movie or a full album. Full album, I can listen to the Beatles' White Album, 40 minutes, start to finish. I can listen to it twice in a row and not move, not get out of it, like be stuck. Or Springsteen, Nebraska, that kind of raw kind of stuck in my chair, can't even move. I'm like, it's perplexing, but to listen to two idiots, well, 1.5 idiots talk, and now know that what he's saying is colored by $100 million, and then he moved. Why did you move? Why'd you move over to Spotify? Why didn't you stay where you are? Didn't you have enough money? Didn't you have enough success? Didn't you have enough subscribers? Didn't you have enough fame? Why did you have to sell out? Why do you go to Spotify? Because of the money, right? The money. Part of the rationale is that Spotify already exerts control over. All right, I read that already. What else? This has reportedly gone all the way to the top. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Who's Spotify? 5 years ago, nobody even knew what Spotify was. Now, all of a sudden, they're exerting power over the top people, and as if their people really matter. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek. Now, you see how however, I keep saying that how corporations control the game. Don't you get it? Don't you see how it works? Do you see how it works? Wake up. Stop blaming each other. Stop blaming the Democrats. Stop blaming the Republicans. Stop believing that there's this two-party nonsense and there's racial divide and because there really isn't. What there is corporate divide. There's people in high places that have other interests, and they acquire you. People like Joe Rogan are now acquired. They're assets. And we want to use those assets to our advantage. We want to use that asset to secure our other assets and make more assets, right? And what you're fucking saying, what's coming out of your bold fucking head and mouth is flying in the face of our other assets. So that's why the corporations are so powerful. That's why they are the target and always have been the target. If you want to fight somebody, there is your problem. Don't just brush it off like, oh, they're just business guys. No, they are the fucking guys calling the shots like this. Massive legal censorship because they catered to Joe Rogan's sense of greed. Like he took the money. And now we'll see what happened. Maybe Joe Rogan is like, fuck this shit, I'm leaving. Fuck this, I'm leaving. Let's see what he says. Right? This has reportedly gone all the way to the top. Some jerk-off CEO at Spotify appears to be pushing back. From a business standpoint, the reason is fairly obvious. Rogan's audiences so he's pushing back. All right, the CEO, yeah. Right. So you have workers, your workers are saying censor him, but the CEO is not saying censor him. That is bullshit. The CEO calls the fucking shot. He's not going to push back on his own employees publicly. He's going to tell them, shut up. Shut up and go back to your desk and do what I tell you to do. That's how business works. Oh, yeah? Oh, you want to have an opinion too? You want to have an opinion of what's going on our show? I thought we pay you $60,000 a year to sit in the cubicle and shut the fuck up and push the buttons when we tell you to push the buttons. All right? Do this, do that, do the other thing. Go for this, go for that. That's what you do. So shut up. So the idea that the CEO is pushing back is stupid. From a business standpoint, the reason is fairly obvious. Rogan's audiences like his direct, unedited style and could quickly abandon the comedian podcaster if he's edited. Yeah, no shit. Maybe not. I mean, he'll lose half his audience, and that's still millions of people. You know, he could lose half. I think Howard Stern lost half when he moved over to this, whatever it was, some other. He went off of FM radio, daily FM radio in New York, and he moved over to a cable channel, and he was pretty much gone at that point, right? But he took the money. He took the money. The money. That might explain why the sheer podcast is still live. All right, whatever. In complete uncharacteristic fashion, Joe Rogan issued a public apology for comments made during his recent interview with Douglas Murray. Wow. So Joe Rogan is walking back a comment. What did he say? It must have been really bad. He must have said something really bad that he should jump in and censor himself and say, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Well, let's see what he says. In the episode, Rogan alleged that left-wing activists had intentionally set wildfires in states like Oregon, a claim refuted by the FBI and other officials. This is CNN reporting. Now, are people setting wildfires in Oregon? Yes. We have the video. We have the video evidence. We have the actual people being arrested for lighting fires. And the FBI refutes it? Where? When? Since when? When? A year ago? Last year? No. The FBI does not refute it. We have evidence of wildfires. So Joe Rogan spoke the truth. He said, Rogan alleged, he didn't even say for sure, that left-wing activists had intentionally set fires. Now, there is no direct link to left-wing activists, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence because that's what Antifa does. They burn shit down. So there is significant evidence to suggest that the left wing is burning fucking places up in Oregon, California, and Washington. So here's what he said. Quote, I actually love Portland. This is Joe Rogan. It's one of my favorite places to perform. Quote, Most of the people there are very nice, but there's a madness going on there. You want to talk about the madness of crowds? That exemplifies that right now. They've arrested people for lighting forest fires up there. They've arrested left-wing people for lighting these forest fires. Air quote, activists. This stuff isn't widely being reported. Is that truthful? Yeah, it's fucking truthful. So what does Rogan say? That's what he said on the show. Now listen to what he said. Earlier today, Joe Rogan issued a mea culpa. What's that? An apology? Mea culpa. What the fuck kind of term is that? See, that's to make you not know what the hell they're talking about. So you got to look it up. Acknowledgement of one's fault. Okay. Rogan acknowledged his own fault by saying, I need to make an apology and a retraction, Rogan said on Instagram. Quote, I said something on the podcast with Douglas Murray about people getting arrested for lighting fires, and I got duped. It's wrong. It's not wrong. You didn't get duped. There are people lighting fires. What the fuck don't you understand about it? We saw the evidence. We saw the videos. We saw people getting arrested. We saw testimony of people seeing other people setting fires. What more evidence do you need? It's not the primary cause of the fire, but it does seem to be arson-assisted wildfire in Oregon, Washington, and California to some degree. What's wrong with saying that? What's wrong with saying that? They paid me $100 million. That's the difference. See how the money changes everything? Whether the apology was made under pressure from Spotify is unclear. Of course it's made. Of course it's under fire, under pressure. Though Spotify staffers want to edit comments like that before they get published. That would include simply cutting the section out or issuing a warning and link to other information, similar to oversight employed by Twitter and Facebook. What is the value in free speech? What is the value? Think about it for 1 second. What is the value? Why do we want free speech? Why do we want someone to speak the truth, speak unadulterated, uncensored, unpaid for truth? Why do we need that in this world? Why is it important? Because. And why is the truth so clear when you hear somebody say it? When someone speaks truth, it's very clear and it's captivating and it pulls you in. It pulls you in because you know it's truthful. You know it's actually happening, and it shows all the lies and how fucked up people are, how deceptive people are. Right? People that accumulate a lot of money are fucking liars for the most part. I don't know about that. Of course, the level of oversight could create a serious rift between Rogan and Spotify. Beyond that, it could constitute a breach of contract, which would give Rogan an exit from the deal after delivering a handful of episodes. Now, either way, the marriage looks troubled, just days after the honeymoon. More as it develops. Now, I don't know if Joe Rogan had a deal. Did Joe Rogan have a deal with Spotify that you stay out of my editorial world? We could do other things. You could do other things for us. You can promote, but editorially, no one tells me what I say and what questions I ask. Now, I don't know if Joe Rogan had that deal with them, but it appears he did not, because he's walking back a simple statement that there does look like there might have been some arson up in out west, right? And with evidence on the ground. To come out and say, I got duped, it's wrong, is pretty fucked up. It's pretty bad news, man. So anyway, man. So what's up, man? So I think that's all I got today. What do we got here? Yeah, we're streaming live. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. We're going live. We are live. Does my website come back? I don't think so. MarcusConte.com is down. I don't know what the hell happened, man. Can anybody get to MarcusConte.com? Give me a 1 if you can get to my site, man. I don't know where it is, but it's gone. I think I got deleted. Did Marcus Conte get deleted? It might be it might be just the server down. We'll wait till later on and see what the hell's going on. So anyway, man. So there you go, right? So some crazy shit going on. Right? There's always crazy shit going on. But COVID-19 is now aerosolized. Right? Just get people to wear that goddamn muzzle, man. Keep them far away. Keep those restaurants shut down. Keep the movie theaters shut down. Movie theaters, right? We got fucking Netflix. What? Why? What movie theater? You want movie theater? You want a movie theater? What the fuck is that? That's like, oh yeah, your grandparents used to go to movie theaters. No, we watch movies in our house in front of the computer. That's what Netflix wants. So shut those shits down. Health, what? So what? Fitness centers? Come on, man. Come on. We got a better approach to that. We're gonna do simulcast where you exercise in front of the big screen, just the way Big Brother wants you to, right? Or restaurants, right? Oh, so disgusting. We'll deliver the food right to your house. You don't need to sit in a restaurant. Restaurants are stupid. Restaurants are bad. I just sit down and sit in front of the computer, stay in the screen. While you're watching the movie, you can then order your food and someone from Amazon will bring you your food. So you don't have to leave. You just stay in your house, right? And consume. Consume in a way that is beneficial to our pockets. So you like those, retail, what? Go out and you don't want to get sick, do you? You don't want to touch those clothes where other people touched. Or go, oh my God, go into an open buffet. I went into Whole Foods yesterday to the open buffet, and it was horrible. It was like, there's nothing out. There's nothing like, everything is like covered in plastic and in the refrigerator, and you gotta nuke it, and it was just a uncomfortable shopping experience from a person who likes to eat what I see, right? And anyway, the whole fucking world is upside down. Is it a power grab? Of course it's a power grab. There's now powers that are interested in keeping people far apart, decentralizing our economies so that you sit at home afraid and you consume. Just keep eating. Get sick, that's okay. We'll send you some drugs, the ones that are made in China that'll kill you even more. And we'll wrap this up really quick. It's fucking crazy shit, crazy times, man. Shit is dopey. Come on. Oh, yeah. Having sex with masks on. Oh, yeah. It's really special. Until you have sex with both wearing a mask, you'll never experience a better orgasm. Really, man. Put a mask on your genitals. So masked sex. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it, Joe. Masked sex. Oh, that's gonna be great. You don't know. You see, you can. That's good for women because women don't like to be nasty. They don't like to be known as being nasty. Like, oh, but you can't see their face. Oh, nasty. Right? It sounds nasty. It sounds nasty. Put your mask on. The fuck. Excuse me if your kids are watching. Thanks, everybody.
go home and campaign, many of them running in tight seats. So it is a very difficult time for the Republicans to push this through. It could be done, but I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
Jeannie, what would be defectors' motivations for not